Welcome. Sorry about that. Welcome to another episode of Drug Dealers to Businessmen podcast. Your boy, your host, Duane Cofield. It is September 5th, man. We're moving out of summertime, man. 2023. This is the weekly tap in, and I'm tapping in. Hopefully, you guys can hear me. My audio was cool. If those who are tapping in, let me know in the comments. If you can't hear me, the devil, I ain't even gonna give him no name. The enemy's been definitely coming with some of his drama and rigmarole every time we try to connect. So I know that it's gonna be powerful anytime there's something. So those who are just watching for the first time, you know the deal, man. Make sure you guys put in the comments where you tapping in from. Let us know how long you've been listening, how long you've been tapping in, man. We've been at this for a few years, man, and it feels good, man, to have history behind us to kind of answer every question that we think should have been answered thus far, right? So make sure if you haven't seen some of our older episodes, tap in some of them older episodes, man. They might be timely, right? And that's the thing. I was having a conversation today, man, about timeliness and how things are just right when they're supposed to be when they're supposed to be there. um but it starts with the vision. So but that's a whole nother episode, right? This episode, it was a little bit different, but it's along those same lines, man. We're gonna wait for a few more people to get in so I can get cracking. But those who are listening on the replay, man, we certainly appreciate you tapping in from all over the world, man. We got listeners from everywhere. So those who are watching, listening, YouTube, wherever you tapping in from, thank you, man. Hit the notifications and subscriptions right down here so that you do not miss an episode, man. It's going to be lit. Um, I was just grabbing something. Yeah, this episode, we're in season number 5, man. Episode number 4. I asked, therefore I receive. Oh, see, that's what I'm talking about right there. All right, let me see. Can you guys hear me now? Still can? Guys still can't hear me. I'm trying to close out all this stuff. Can you guys hear me now? Oh, you can hear me? Okay, cool. All right, so yeah, this episode is episode number 4, season 5, man. I asked, therefore I receive, man. I asked, therefore I receive. And I know it sounds biblical. It sounds like I'm about to have my hand out, like give me some money for this, but that's not the case, man. I'm gonna just talk to you a little bit about some of the things that I've asked for and how they've come in terms of receiving them, right? And also we want to talk about being prepared to receive. One of the key things about being prepared to receive, you have to be prepared to receive. If you're not prepared to receive it, it's not coming. And there's so many different ways that you can prepare for it, right? And I'm right now, one of my book suggestions. So let me know that you guys are cool with the audio so far. If you guys can hear me cool, just hit me a thumbs up or something like that, a like or something, so that I know that I'm being effective and I'm not just talking into the wind. But yeah, so a lot of things been happening. We're moving along. I don't know if you guys have been updated, but we're moving along with progress with some of the things we've been building and visualizing. But I want to talk about that. I want to talk about not just mine, right, but just how some of these same things can be applicable to your lives as well, right? And how, not only conversation, but thought, visualization, and being vocal with it, asking God outright for stuff, right? That's the thing. If you don't ask, you're not going to receive. And one of the things I used to admire about cats in my younger years was the fact that them guys who had enough, and for lack of better words, balls to ask for stuff, right? To ask females for stuff, everything. They just had, and that was one of the things I wasn't born with. I wasn't born with that, so I had to develop that muscle to where the bold one wins. They may face rejection. I get it. But the bold person, that one who who gets it, was like, if I don't ask, I'm not getting, they end up getting something. And you talk to enough people, it's almost like sales, right? You talk to enough people, something's going to happen, something's going to stick. And that's the key. It's like, what are you asking for? What is the majority of your conversation about? And I'll tell you what you're going to you're I'll tell you where your life is, or vice versa. If I see your life and I'm like, man, hmm, I'm not saying a positive or negative. I'm like, I don't have to question what you're talking about. I can get in the car with you and go perhaps to San Diego and be like, man, I get it. I see you talking yourself into everything or talking yourself out of everything. And you're not asking God for anything. You're asking for survival mechanisms, right? You're not asking life to provide you much more than survival shit. And now you'll get sticks and stuff to light a fire if that's what you're asking for. I just need enough to get through this day. God, just get me through this day. And that's what you're gonna get. You feel what I'm saying? I'm like I said, I'm listening to this book again. And it's always really important to not only read a book, but read it again and again and again. And listen to it again and again and again. Because there's all type of hidden nuggets in there. And sometimes the thing that God wanted you to really get out that book, you may have been distracted. You may have listened to every part of that book, but that one thing that God didn't get to you. So that's why I'm saying, like, read it again, because a lot of times there's things that you'll miss. And in the Outliers, which is a book I'm reading by Malcolm Gladwell, that 10,000 hours of practice is pivotal. Get your language together, homie. But it is pivotal. I still can't say it right, but it's extremely important in terms of progression. And a lot of times we're not paying attention to our 10,000 hours of practice. We're not paying attention to it. A lot of times we're neglecting it. We're just like, oh man, this job is just that. And I'm like, nah, that's what this is. This is the thing when I'm saying about them paying you to practice, right? They talked about why Jewish lawyers were, that. And, that was one of the more interesting things when he was talking about Jewish lawyers and how they became to prominence. And it wasn't because of them just being, super intelligent or anything like that. It was because most of the white firms didn't want the type of work that they were doing. And at that time, that type of work wasn't popular. It was corporate takeovers, it was divorces, it was all this stuff. And nobody wanted that kind of work in terms of lawyers. So they were kind of taking the grunt work. And lo and behold, everything switched around. And once everything switched around, then they became in a dominant position, but they had all this time to practice. Right? They were talking about Bill Gates in the same book and how he had all this time to practice on computers just because he happened to be born at this time and happened to be in Seattle at this time. And a lot of serendipitous things happened. But ultimately, over time, he sat there and practiced and practiced and practiced. And when you think about your time, right? What are you doing practicing every day? What is it going towards, right? You don't know yet. You don't know yet. You may not have hit that point. You may be at that 5,000 hour plateau. Like, what the hell am I really doing? You don't know what you're trying to build and what it's going to actually do for you. Me speaking, I speak in class. I have 5 classes. So I speak 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 in person, 4 times in person in front of a group, and 1 time a week in front of 100 and something people. You want to talk about practice, right? Though that's practice. So therefore, an audience of 1,000 or 10,000 wouldn't necessarily intimidate me, right? Because I'm constantly practicing. That's why you don't hear a lot of ums and ahs. Oh yeah, you was in my. So I gotta right on, man. Appreciate y'all just using my marketing class. Okay, this is another thing. Not talk about this with students, but yeah, that's me practicing. I tell them all the time. I'm sitting here and I'm talking to you every single week. And I have to come up with lesson plans and ways to execute it and ways to position this and engage with you and make everybody feel like they're involved in the class. That's a lot of practice and expertise. And what is it preparing me for? I have no idea. It may be preparing me for the thing that I asked for a long time ago, which was to become a public speaker, write books, and go around the world and talk. That's what I wanted to do. That still may be in the cards, right? But now I got to develop the story it's intriguing and has highs and lows and victories and all this type of stuff. So that's what the process I'm going through right now. right? And a lot of times it's not sexy, it's not appealing, right? I was talking like this, like that. A lot of times there's one person watching. Sometimes there's no people watching. Sometimes there's one person listening, but it doesn't matter, right? I was talking to my own boy today. We just went on a hike, man. Shout out to my dog Donna Michi. We just went on a dope hike and overlooking the Santa Monica Bay. It was amazing. Shout out to Larry June. He talks about hiking too, man. You listen to that cat, man. Hiking, all that good stuff. Hydro flask, drinking water and orange juice, and taking care of your body. So I'm all for that. But anyways, when we were talking, I was like, yeah, man, I do my podcast. That's my way of giving back. He was like, yeah, man. He was like, there was a guy who said he remembers when he had one person watching, one view. And he said, all it takes is one video and all the old stuff that you've done comes to the front. Like, damn, look at all this old content, which is why I haven't stopped doing content, man. I've been doing content since 2010. I got 13 years in the YouTube game and in live performances and, doing video. Then COVID happened, right? Then I got practice on doing this kind of video, right? I'm doing online, I'm doing in person. So I'm just practicing, right? And you don't even realize it. You think about it, right? Kobe Bryant, he's in Italy and his dad playing overseas. What else he had to do besides play basketball? He's not into the culture. He's not acculturated like that. So he practiced, and it makes sense. It makes so much sense. How much time can I commit to the game? How much time can I give to this particular thing? Right? That's the key. And this is why not only do you need practice time to figure things out. You need if that's the ask God for an opportunity and he'll give it to you. It may become in the form of work. They very well may come in the form of work. It may look like, man, a job at McDonald's.